I hate airport check-in queues, and you? Yeah, I know what you mean. I don't know why they're so slow. Actually, would you mind keeping my place for a minute while I go and buy a newspaper? No, that's fine. I don't think there is any hurry. This queue isn't going anywhere. I might get a bottle of water while I'm at it. Would you like one? Well, okay, yes, please. I will give you the money. No, don't worry about it. See you in a minute. Hello again, here you are. Thanks, you've got a lot of stuff. Do you live in Singapore? No, I'm not going to Singapore actually. I'm on my way to Australia. Australia? Me too. I'm heading for Sydney. What about you? Yeah, I'm going to Sydney too. So I guess we'll be on the same flights. By the way, have you been to Australia before? No, this is my first time. And you? Yeah, actually I live there, but I've been living here in London for the last year. I'm on my way home now. That's why I've got so much stuff. Alright, so you know your way around the city then. Maybe you can tell me the best places to go and see. Tell you what, we can meet up and I'll show you around if you like. Oh, sure, that would be great if it is not too much trouble. No, it will be good for me as well. I haven't seen in quite a long time myself. I'm Louisa, by the way. What's your name? I'm Fiona. Look, I think I'll go and get a newspaper myself. Would you mind watching my bag for me? No, go ahead. How again? Thanks. No problem. This is all your luggage. Yeah, just the one bag. I like traveling life. Listen, Fiona, I've been thinking. I wonder if you mind checking one of my bags for me, 'cause I'm sure they're going to be more than 20 kilos. Oh, well, I like to buy it, but I like to, but I feel like being comfortable about it, 'cause you know how they ask you questions like, do you pack your bags yourself, and stuff like that. It's only clothes and books in there. There is nothing illegal. No, I'm sure there isn't, but, well, to be honest, I'd rather not. Oh, well, okay, fair enough. We're all too security conscious these days. It is a pretty, but that's life, I guess. Oh, look, they're putting on your check-in desk. I think I'll go over there and get near the front of the queue. Alright, I used to stay here and I can't go anywhere fast with all this stuff. See you later. Yeah, see you around. Kangaroo. When the British explorer Captain Cook landed in Australia, he saw this strange animal for the first time. He asked a native what the name of the animal was. The native said that he didn't understand, which in the local language sounded something like kangaroo. Cook thought that was the name of the animal. Two native Australians were working as guides for a European explorer. The explorer saw some jumping animals one day and asked the guides if they could catch one. One of them replied, kangaroo can, kangaroo can, kangaroo can. The other, whose name was Garoo, was an expert kangaroo hunter. The European misunderstood and the kangaroo became the name of the animal. When the European explorers pointed to a kangaroo and asked the local what the name of the animal was, he replied Ganguru, which means great kangaroo in their language. The explorers wrote this as kangaroo, and they thought that was the name of all types of kangaroo. Orangutan. The word orangutan comes from the Malay language and means man of the forest. Local people used the word to refer to the tribes of people who lived in the forest. But European visitors misunderstood and thought that it referred to the animal. The word orangutan comes from the English colors word orange and tan. Some English visitors pointed at the animal and asked the local what it was called. The local, who had been studying English, thought that the visitors were testing their knowledge of color words and replied orange and tan. The English visitors thought that they had said orangutan and assumed that that was the name of the animal. The word orangutan is actually the name of a dance in Swedish. Some Swedish sailors saw the animal swinging on the trees in Indonesia and thought that it was looked like the traditional Swedish dance. Some local people heard them saying the name of the dance and thought it was the name of the animal in the visitors' language. They liked the song and the word and started to use it themselves. I hate it when everybody speaks at once. I don't know how people can follow more than one thing. Yeah, I know what you mean. When people interrupt you before you've finished what you were going to say. I know, I will never interrupt somebody when they're speaking. I mean, where I come from, that's just rude. Yeah, if you start speaking before somebody's finished, basically the message is, I'm not interested in what you're saying. But I think it's probably different in some cultures. So, in some countries, I think that it's okay if everybody speaks at once, because it shows they're involved in their conversation. Well, I don't understand how they can do that. It drives me crazy. Okay, let's start with, let's put them into some sort of geographical position. Whereabouts were they and how many of them are there? There are about 3,550 piranhas spread over 300 miles of the Mesa River. If you take off all the country boundaries of South America, it will be right in the heart of South America, right in the middle of the Amazon rainforest. Presenter. So, what is it like traveling in that part of the world? 10. It can be the challenge. It's gotten easier over the years with the advent of floodplains or the easier availability of floodplains. But it would take us in the early days with the family. It was a week to 2 weeks. Boat trip to getting to the trip. A very difficult situation as it required carrying large amounts of supplies for the family alone through the jungle. You mentioned there that the piranha were unusual in that they didn't want any material gift or input from the outside world. What about human input? Were did they welcome you and your little trip arriving? They were very friendly, surprisingly, so I didn't know what to expect, but they were extremely friendly and they started responding to my request to learn the language. They found it very curious, and I think they saw me as a sort of very highly trained parrot. I don't know if they thought I could understand their language, but it was fun to watch me imitate them. Do you have any sort of background? This sounds like really thought expedition to undertake, particularly with a family. From your own family background, why you traveled a lot as a kid? What was your own story? I grew up in Southern California near the Mexican border, and my travels were 8 miles to the Mexican border. That's all my travel. And I had ever done in my life, so this was the first travel I'd ever really undertaken, was straight to the Amazon. As you were going around being this highly educated pearl, as you say, what were you learning about the way that the people live it? Before we come on the language, I learned that they had what was technologically, was perhaps the most primitive culture that I had ever seen, read about, or seen. That they also seem extremely satisfied and unpleasant. I know a lot of indigenous groups that I have met since they who are dissatisfied with their lot in their lives because they desired things from the outside world. But the secret to the piranha seems to me their lack of interest in the outside world, and I wanted to know where that came from. So that launched me on studies of their culture. You were the first person to fully translate, and other experts have picked up some of their vocabulary. But in terms of really translating the piranha language, you were the first man to do that. And through that work, you realized that usually the way they spoke and the way it relates to their daily life, their language challenge the basic precepts of linguistic science. Is that right? That's right. I mean, I noticed first of all that they didn't have any numbers or counting, and there is any have been proposed to be innate in all humans. At least some sort of number system, but the parents have no numbers, no counting, and they have no color words. Do you visit them, or do you get out there often? Over the past 30 years, I have never missed a year with them, or spent at least 3 or 4 months of the year with them. I haven't been able to be with them since I just moved to the States, since January of 2008, but I'm planning to go back in June of 2009 to spend some time with them. And how is when you arrive there? Is it do you have a party? What? Will there crow around? I dare start asking me where were you? You should have been here this whole time, you know. We missed you, and what did you bring us? You know, I always bring them things like coffee and sugar, you know, little candies and things like this that they like, and we just sit around and talk for a real quiet while about what's been going on. They told me about their children, and I asked about children in the village, and we have a great time. When you go back next time, I'm just thinking of the big news, particularly for someone from Illinois, the election of President-elect Obama. Would they be interested to hear about that? No, they wouldn't be interested at all. They they concept of chief or president or something like someone who has authority over a large group doesn't mean much. I had a parent out with me in the city of Brazil and was the capital of Brazil for health reasons, and I took him to a function, and the president of Brazil was passing by, and I just say that's you know, the person who tells a lot of Brazilians what to do, trying to get across there. Alright, is there a place where we can have lunch? They were completely uninterested. That's all done for the moment. Thank you very much. And then Dan's book, Don't Sleep There, are the snakes in a radio for a book of the week from Monday, the 17th November.